There's this big argument between Amapiano versus Afrobeat, and I would like your perspective on that.
Who's arguing?
Yeah, but
I have an issue with the radio though. Like they're still playing like the Calm Down remake.
Bro, I'm tired of that song.
Play the original.
That sound like two guys just went to the DJ. Please, do you have Bola Boy? Do you have? I said, I don't have, but yeah, download. You get me? The guy downloaded that song. Started playing. Everybody turned up on the dance floor. And the DJ was like, okay, people are vibing. All right.
My name is Swizzy. Easy, life is easy. I don't stretch too much.
And my name is TY Tunes, always keeping it real every day.
Every day, 100%. Today we have, you know who it is.
The regular.
Mr. Joe.
I don't know what nickname you have for me. First one was Joe. Last one was Big Joe. I don't know what it is.
Just keep it Big Joe, man. I like Big Joe. Because people don't know how big he is, isn't it?
No. Thank you for having me.
And today, yeah, we have the special one.
Special one. Oh, yeah.
My one's finest.
My one's finest.
Do you?
Life of the party.
Melbourne Queen.
What else? What else do you have?
No, I'll keep it for
Okay,
later
thank
conversation.
you. This is Dams.
Dams.
Dammy, whatever you call me. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Dams. I know you're Dams the DJ.
Yes.
So today we'll be talking about, this is episode 2 for Voice of Resilience, and we're focusing on the journey of, African Australians in Australia and in Melbourne, definitely. And today we'll be talking about Dams the DJ's journey, how you started, how you said you were already doing something in the radio station before you got to...
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, how did that come about? Did you study mass communication?
I did, actually. So my bachelor's was in mass communication, and I just, because I had to major in a particular field of communication, because communication is really huge.
Yeah.
I wanted to major in, I liked broadcasting, and that includes like radio. I didn't want TV, but I decided to major in something different because I felt like I didn't have to. I don't want to throw shades to people who studied broadcasting, but yeah, I just did not think that I should study broadcasting. I chose another major, but still kept that radio thing on side. Started from uni radio, graduated, went to radio like in Lagos.
Yeah.
So I was on
Unilog?
Top Radio and Echo FM.
Oh, yeah?
And then came to Australia, went to Monash, did Monash Radio.
Wow.
And took a break from radio, and now I'm back on radio. Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, so, like, was it like an easy, transition for you, like coming from Nigeria and then coming into Australia and having to do the radio thing? How did you like engage this audience? It's different, yeah?
Yeah.
So, like, the songs you need to play, everything is different. So, like, how did you do it?
I feel like radio is like a drug. It like even if you leave it alone, it has a way of like, not like I take drugs, so I have no idea, but I'm just guessing. Like it has a way of bringing you back. I thought I was not going to do radio when I moved here because I came here for like my master's, and I was just like, just focus on your studies, do whatever you want to do. Yeah, but I just didn't know how it happened. I just found myself doing radio, and yes, when I was at Monash, I focused more on sort of like the kind of songs I listened to while growing up. So the R&B, Backstreet Boys kind of vibe.
Oh, yeah?
Like, that was my major area while I was doing radio in Monash. But now that I'm a DJ, I thought to introduce African sounds to radio.
Wow.
Because that's some gap that I found. And I feel very strongly about that. And I think that, we are the only ones to toot our horns.
True.
So why not just,
True. I mean,
Back there.
what you're saying right now is true because the last episode we had Low Key. And Low Key was talking about, how 2011, Tony, was it 2011? He said Afrobeat was nowhere to be found.
I wasn't banging yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And now it's like the big thing.
Yeah.
It's like one of the big, the big music, the big genre now. So,
I think before Dami continues, Joe, like, can you quickly comment on that? Like, since you've been here, like,
I've been here since 2005, so I've seen it all. I think
what's been the journey like of like
musically,
acceptance, Afrobeat acceptance?
Afrobeat acceptance. I think it's only a recent thing, because like I've been here since 2005. So growing up through those phases, it was like they hardly even play hip hop and R&B on radio stations. It had to be like a really, really big hit.
Yeah.
You know, like they couldn't just play like the normal standard, like, you know, like they would the top 20 or top 50.
Did you like, were you patient with the radio station?
I wasn't really a big radio guy too. I think that's what, now there's a market for radio, there's a certain market. We were just discussing it before. But I think that sort of steered people to sort of like listen, to go to other streaming platforms or like have your own stuff and things like that. But it wasn't like, we wasn't like really pushing for it.
So what were people listening to?
Just before like streaming services, there was, you could listen like CDs and all those things.
What
You
kind
go to
of songs?
parties.
What kind of song was it? Was it like Australian?
There was like they had like the version of Aussie hip hop, which was just like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But they play a lot of the pop, like, because you know Australia imitates other, like, follows like what the American trends is and the UK trends are, mainly America. So they were playing like a lot of like the Taylor Swift and all those things.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you had to be like the black person that crossed between black and white, so like the Beyonces and all those people. You couldn't just be like the black artist. They weren't really playing like Jay-Z and stuff like that.
Wow.
When did Afrobeat start like banging in Australia?
I think, to be totally honest with you, like,
Post-COVID.
Post-COVID. I feel like it's post-COVID to be honest.
post-COVID,
Yeah.
post-COVID. But I feel like it started with us.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
In terms of like, we were more comfortable listening to Afrobeats outwardly. Back, we would listen to it in our own homes and our own parties.
Yeah.
But now we just listen to it anywhere. But even like, now you're still surprised. They play it in the gyms and stuff like that. I have an issue with the radio though. Like they're still playing like the Calm Down remake.
Bro, I'm tired of that song.
Play the original. The remakes had nothing.
And guess what, yeah? I
They
heard-
said Selena Gomez featuring Rema.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
And then when is Rema's verse? They just turn it back to take it back to the chorus. Yeah.
They used Selena to promote the song, not Rema.
Exactly.
But we want to get to the point. Like, Essence was so big that, remember? They had no reason, other issue but to play Essence.
Yeah.
Even Last. They were the big things. You just played them because they were the big songs. But we're still at that stage where they're not. There's not. But look, we'll get to that eventually.
But I think the first time I heard Afrobeat in Australia was Pato Ranking, my woman.
Really?
Yeah.
On the radio or?
And I was in KFC.
Really? No, that staff member must be African.
But it's a young
because that's
African
very
king.
specific. That's a young African king. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, back to Dami. Yeah. So what's the acceptance like when you perform? I know. Do you perform more in African clubs or in like?
I do majorly African clubs, but I've had like a mix before.
Yeah.
Or maybe just had a lot of mixed people in the audience. Yeah.
Okay. And what's the acceptance like with the mix?
I have to like sort of tune it to them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, there's a time I was DJing at a restaurant and I did introduce. I always call it introducing African sound. So like. Sorry, I'm gonna say this again. I played "Calm Down" just to get them like
Just to see.
Calm down.
test the waters. Yeah, but this was like a while ago. Actually, I mean this year, but like earlier this year, when "Calm Down" just came out, was when I played that one. And I've had to like sort of tune it to because I listen to a lot of commercial like songs.
Yeah.
So anything you hear on TikTok or on the radio, I'm listening to it, and that's what I would just play.
Yeah.
To be honest, and if there's like an edit of like maybe, I'm a piano type of like Umbrella, for example, Rihanna's Umbrella.
Yeah.
I'll put that in.
Oh, okay.
So I
So
do like a merge of like
sounds.
Afrobeat sound
Yeah.
with a popular pop song.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a piano sound with a popular pop song, just to have that and to help myself too, because I also don't want to be playing some songs that I don't like. I'm that DJ who plays one for me, one for the crowd.
I
Yeah.
think that's why you're expensive, isn't it?
There's this big argument between Amapiano versus Afrobeat, and I would like your perspective on that.
Who's arguing?
Yeah, but I think the argument is legit, though. The argument is
Arguing.
legit.
Yeah.
The
Like-
argument is legit.
Like, what's the
See,
argument? Like,
I'll just say something. Amapiano is getting accepted like in many parts of the world, and we can push that aside. I know Afrobeat is bigger,
Yeah.
but if you see people like Ashake, we now have a style of music called Afro piano because like even the Afrobeat artists are like integrating Amapiano into what they do.
Yeah.
That shows you how big Amapiano is getting.
Yeah.
I know like South Africans are like gatekeepers of their song.
Yeah.
And and
Yeah, you're right.
I just want to keep going.
see, I'm not taking it away from Afrobeat. Afrobeat is the biggest African export, right? But Amapiano is also getting there. And the fact that Afrobeat artists are beginning to like integrate Amapiano into their style, I think.
Have they started or do you think
Like Ashake,
they've
for
already been?
instance, Ashake is Afropiano.
But he's been doing it for a while now.
It's been a while.
They haven't started, if that's what you're saying.
No, Davido has done on my piano.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a few
I mean,
years.
a lot of guys, but I think Ashaka has really like capitalized on it.
Yeah, Ashake,
yeah.
Burna Boy.
Yeah, Burna Boy
Burna Boy
too.
does it sometimes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so your question was Afrobeat versus Amapiano.
Yeah, I don't know what Tony's question is.
What
'cause
is
I know-
it better? Is it good?
No, I'm just saying
Is it-
based on your experience as
Yeah.
a DJ. What's
the crowd.
the crowd like
Yeah.
comparing both style of music?
I think the audience for those two styles of music are different. To be honest.
Yeah.
And and each of those genre of music is based on two separate culture.
Yeah.
And we need to sort of like respect where it's coming from.
Yeah.
An Afrobeat person or someone who loves Afrobeat vibes with certain parts of the beat that
Yeah.
comes from Afrobeat as a
Yeah.
genre.
Yeah.
And then Amapiano is obviously different in terms
Yeah.
of the use of several strings and
Yeah.
like piano
Yeah.
sounds
Yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah.
I think as Africans, we need to also stay away from like the versus kind of conversation.
Yeah. That was
Because
gonna be
that's
my
what
point.
sort of divides us.
Yeah.
And I also applaud like Amapiano and community that sort of like pushes it. I applaud the fact that they're trying to gatekeep it.
Yeah.
I do love that fact.
Yeah.
And I wish that because there's you could gatekeep something but still commercialize it
Yeah.
in such a way that only someone who understands Amapiano deep-rootedly in terms of culture and all of
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
can promote play Amapiano. You can't say I'm having an Amapiano night now and you have non-Amapiano DJs
True.
playing Amapiano sounds. You know,
'Cause they won't really get it.
because
Yeah.
let me throw one shade. When
I
it
think
comes to
that's true.
Afrobeat,
Look.
oh, you're having things like Afro. Like, what is Afro? I've seen Afro as like on people's flyers, and I'm just like, what does that mean? Does it mean Afrobeat? Does it mean
All the sound.
all the sounds from Afro? Like that's the
Burundi,
confusion. And then you
Senegal.
have like DJs who are just like, non-Afro representing. I'll just
True.
leave it there. Yeah. So I mean, gatekeeping, good on them. I think it's actually very commendable. But
Joe, you want to say something? Yeah.
You
I
think
think
it's before you think gatekeeping is good?
Yeah, to a point.
No, I'm gonna. I was just into.
I feel I believe
It's necessary.
gatekeeping is necessary.
All right, so,
Gatekeeping is necessary, but obviously it might not. Like not everybody can gatekeep. Like you can try to gatekeep to an extent, but you've made that effort at gatekeeping.
I'm gonna ask the question now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think Afrobeat did we get kept?
No,
Yeah,
we did
that's-
not.
Exactly.
but do you think it's wrong that we didn't gatekeep?
I'm not saying it's wrong.
Okay.
In that sense, it would have been necessary. The pathway where Afrobeat would have gone through, you won't be hearing
Men won't collect
You will
dollars.
not be seeing you. I think
The bar brothers
I
will
think
break
most
into
of the
Slogan, you know, like,
Afrobeat
just get the
artists
money.
were really more about the money and
Yeah.
are very westernized in
Right.
terms of their
Yeah.
thinking, right?
Right.
And so
Right.
they didn't. What's gatekeeping?
Exactly.
What Let's
Yeah.
just get our money, right? It's not to them. It was more about commercializing Afrobeat
Right.
to
Yeah.
to
Right.
get the money, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe if they had tried to attempted at gatekeeping, we might have seen a different route that we
Yeah.
can't predict now. But we're seeing from Amapiano how it is. They are gatekeeping, but the sound is still traveling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, the other style of music, jazz, hip hop,
Yeah.
no, they didn't gatekeep.
Hold.
But do you know
bro,
if they gatekeep
No,
or not?
I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
they didn't gatekeep.
It's a different argument, though.
No, I'm saying it's still music.
I mean, hip hop is
Hip hop is accepted all over the
universal.
world.
Okay, so
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is like, let's.
hip hop is not accepted in Australia though because like they're not
No,
still
we have
playing.
this guy's
Yeah,
rapping, this
Australian hip hop.
islanders.
Hold on.
I'm saying it doesn't have to be
Australian
like
rappers,
American
isn't it?
style of hip hop. They take hip hop and they do it their own way. That makes it still hip hop.
But they still have an element of gatekeeping. of saying this is ours.
Hip hop,
Yeah,
hip hop.
They celebrate it. Yes. Yeah, exactly. I
They
get it.
embrace it. It's still identified as a black culture thing,
Yes.
right? So there's a
Yeah.
root to it.
Yes.
There's not. It's
Thank
not
you. I think
like.
that's the word I was looking for. Origin.
I'll go back to the point. There's two elements to that.
Yeah.
I think it's this thing where we suffer. It's our biggest Achilles heel, this superiority complex, where we need to always feel like we're better or all these things. When we embrace, why can't we just say we have the best music instead of like I'm a pianist better? You know, why can't we as a collective say we have the best music and embrace that and move forward with that?
Yeah.
Part of the gatekeeping, it's an element like there's an argument right now where they feel like Afrobeat has been sold to America. To a point, you know, you just willingly like,
You see that
you know,
Atlantic Records,
Exactly.
taking over,
and all
Burna
these
Boy's
things
album
like
and all that.
marketing has been a big thing, making money has been a big thing. Like people used to
Yeah.
come to Afrobeats, now it's like you have it,
yeah.
sort of in that way. So look, bro, we had this discussion last time,
Yeah.
and I'll make this
You're
point
making
again.
sense, so.
They talked about Burna Boy last time. It's
Yeah.
like I feel like the validation, the American validation, is more required in Afrobeats than Amapiano. Amapiano don't need that validation from the world, right? It's big. Like I went to South Africa just recently, and it's crazy. I thought I knew Amapiano, but it's on a different scale, and I understand why they like the events they have, man, and like these underground scene. It's like all the mainstream songs you know aren't even like the most popular songs there.
yeah?
You know, it's like a deep-rooted culture, and maybe because it's like. It's DJs that control it more than like the artists. It's a bit bigger, but when it comes to that, I feel like the exploitation of Afrobeats it's a deep-rooted thing, and then I feel like that's why there's cause for argument where you might say they want to keep it as theirs. Like they get it. They've seen like what the American exploitation market has done. You see, Burna Boy is living his American dream. You know.
I have a question. Do you think the lyrics plays a big part in it?
Yeah.
Because if you look at Afrobeat, is English or Yoruba or something, you know, like people can still
But what
relate.
lyrics are there in Afrobeats at the moment?
I mean, it's not like it's anything deep, but you can still like calm down. You know what it's trying to talk about. You know what I mean? But like, if you
There are
listen
two
to
different elements.
I just
Amapiano is just maybe like, I mean, South African songs is mostly their language.
yeah. So I think the best thing is to look at the definition of gatekeeping.
Yeah, I mean, Joe caused a bit of mayhem not too long.
Yeah,
what's gatekeeping,
what's
bro?
gatekeeping, bro? Let's look at it first.
I cause mayhem.
That's like classic. That was not mayhem, to be honest. Like,
What's
Bro,
gatekeeping?
what is this?
What's gatekeeping? What's gatekeeping?
From my understanding, it's if it's something you've established and created, you sort of like keeping an element of control, or if it's used from my perspective, if it goes over to the world, I feel like some element of acknowledgement. That's part of gatekeeping.
Yeah.
We were saying it's going over the web. We were saying it's going over the web. Both you can't control that they're big genres, you know. But I feel like what the disdain is, it's like the lack of acknowledgement. Yes, you can use. Amapiano is used everywhere, but like if you just want to create your own genre and don't acknowledge the culture, it's like sort of like the black culture we talk about, where we feel people steal from the culture but don't acknowledge it. It's the same thing. You know, it's still our culture.
I'll go by the dictionary definition is the activity of controlling and usually limiting general access to something. That's you're trying to control how Amapiano is assessed and
But they're
how
not-
people
yeah.
produce Amapiano and all that.
I feel like
You
they can't limit it
can't
now
do
because
that right
it's
now.
everywhere.
Yeah,
You
I feel
can't
like
limit it.
Amapiano is like a thing that the world has accepted and everyone
Not
is
the
going-
world. I don't think the world has accepted
So to an
Amapiano.
extent, many parts of the world have accepted Amapiano.
I think music has gotten to that point where we no longer concentrate on the lyrics but the sound sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so there are some South African music which you don't understand exactly what they're saying,
But just the
you
beat.
understand and the beat.
Yeah.
It's a feeling.
And that is
melody.
why- That is why.
Oh, that's what
Westerners-
they- yeah, I
that is
agree.
why Westerners, you know, accept like Afrobeat.
Yeah.
They don't understand the what is it called? The pidgin English.
Yeah.
But they still enjoy the beat and all that.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same for Amapiano.
Yeah, sure.
I think. Do you have anything to say?
I was going to say
no,
something.
no, because I've
I feel like we're in
I've
this-
played Amapiano on radio and I kept the text line open and like I got like
Raving?
yeah, people
Good
were
vibe.
like it sounds like trance, you know, house, deep house.
It's chilled.
kind of music,
I mean,
yeah.
it's chilled.
So-
But what I believe is that I think one of the ways Afrobeat really blew up was I think we sold it like individuals sold Afrobeat to people.
Exactly.
So when you go to a gathering or to there's white people here and
Yeah.
then you talk about Afrobeat,
Yeah.
TikTok ruined Afrobeats, man. That's
you know,
what I
like
think.
everyone just started accepting it.
Let me tell you about
gradually.
selling Afrobeat. You know how, especially Nigerians, because they like to be the loudest in the room. they go to. No,
This is why I enter.
This is how
see,
like sometimes I'm Nigerian, but Nigerians are talking. I'm like, but anyways, I digress.
Hey.
What I was trying to say is, you go to a space like a party. I went to a party. This club was we all came in, like 15 of us, right? We're all like majorly Nigerians, and they were playing like Western songs, pop. Last time, like 2 guys just went to the DJ. Please, do you have Bola Boy? Do you have? I said, I don't have. But yeah, download. You get me? The guy downloaded that song, started playing. Everybody turned up on the dance
the
floor.
DJ too is gonna love
And the
it.
DJ was like, okay, people are vibing.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
I'm just gonna buttress your point about like we selling
mouth.
Afrobeat, word of mouth.
Yeah.
Individually, people are like and that's because it comes from a place of pride.
Yeah.
You would not sell what you're not proud
Yeah.
of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think to add to
Yeah.
what she said, someone once told me that in the past, like 10, 15 years ago, that the reason why Afrobeat got to this point was like, you see like some of the rich men coming to the club and they're like, if you're not playing Afrobeat, we're leaving
not
this
gonna
club.
spend my
I
money.
won't spend money. So they forced even the white DJs and other non-Nigerians to play Afrobeat.
Look, you look at the cultures in the country. It's a matter of 2 different personalities. Like
Yeah.
you just said, Nigerians are, strong and opinionated and loud.
Yeah.
Those
Well, I
things.
like the positive spin. It says strong. You're loud.
Hey, we're on camera. I'll tell you what I think off camera.
Yeah. Love that.
But that main character energy per se, and I feel like that relates to how the movement has been pushed on.
Yeah.
South Africans are a bit more reserved. The sound is a bit more reserved. It's a bit laid back. It's not too like in your face. Like, it is to some extent.
Yeah.
But I think it just blends with the personalities of both countries.
Who is that?
You guys are making me think now, yeah? I'm thinking about something. Now, do you think, because we listen to a lot of hip hop
Yeah.
as Africans, as Nigerians, do you think kind of like influence, because if you look at the videos that we do, we wear the chains and all of that. South Africans don't really do that.
But Better Boy's from Harlem, New York, man.
Bro, forget about Burna Boy. Bro, we have thousands of artists.
But it's not just one of
I think hip hop really influenced our
we listen to
culture.
hip hop growing up.
I mean, yeah, growing up, that's all
Yeah,
we
really
listen. Hip hop,
influenced our
R&B.
Everything.
We all
And
mind
it's just
hip hop
been
on
blended into one.
Yeah.
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 So I mean, let's just talk about the Australian culture and then having to come into this society, this community, and I mean we've not spoken to Mika about this. So Mika, like, what was your journey like coming into this country?
It was an interesting one. Where I was before, I actually loved that place. But one thing made me come to Australia. I was in Qatar.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know. I was in Qatar for 7 years.
Wow.
All right? Yeah. But one
You had a
thing
different
about
journey.
Qatar, yeah, exactly. But one thing about Qatar is that even if you stay there for 50 years, they will never give you citizenship. And that sort of. I looked at my keys and man, we know where we're coming from. I don't want to spend all my time there. At the end of the day, my keys are going back.
Security.
Just
Yeah.
For some reason. Yeah, for security reasons.
Yeah.
So I thought of a good country where I could sort of take my kids to and give them better life and sort of give them what we
What we didn't have.
so we came to Australia. It was very smooth because we actually got our PR before coming to here.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a smooth one.
Wow.
Being that we were working in Qatar, we saved some money, so it wasn't that difficult when we came to this place. And then when I came, I had beautiful friends who really supported me. Like,
Lucky.
this my brother here, Anthony. So it was a smooth, migration. Honestly.
Let's talk about racism. Did anyone in the house experience any racism at work or dams?
If I start, we will not finish the podcast. Anyways, I feel between us black people, we can use the word racism, but I feel like outside of the black space, racism is almost like overflogged. It's like when you hear the word racism, you can't even say that person was being racist to me anymore because it's not.
You become desensitized.
Yeah, they're like, bro, don't play the card. Do you get what I mean? And so it almost doesn't stick. So I found a new way, anyways, to drive my message across.
Share with us.
It's like someone does something, I'm like, yeah, you're one of those.
Okay. Okay, you don't take the high road.
I finally met one of those. Like,
Damn.
you know.
That's I like that.
But if I do want to report it, I feel like it just depends on the culture of where I am. Like, for example, I haven't really, I think it's more, what's the word? Is it covert racism here in Australia? It's like someone is being racist to you, but yeah, they're like,
No, it's smarter than you guys.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I make this example all the time.
they sandwich there.
I make this example all the
Yeah.
time. In America, people like say it.
Yeah.
Or they are visual
Yeah.
with it. In
Yeah.
Australia, you know they're thinking it. But they're not
You're not
saying
showing
it.
it.
It's like the sandwich.
So-
The racism is in between that slice.
Have you
It's like, no, we're not like
Have you
that.
ever walked into a room and let's say you're going for a shift and you
Yeah.
know like they're about to do a handover to you and you just know like these people have been talking about me.
Yeah.
Get that
I know
feeling.
that feelings, yeah.
You know that feeling like they've been talking about me for
There was,
Damn.
there's a author, Robert Greene, who wrote 48 Laws of Power.
Yeah.
He said whenever he was making a comment, if you know someone or something, come from behind. Or,
I heard it
or make,
before.
come from behind and surprise them. And the reaction in their face tells you what they think
The
about it.
first few
Yeah,
seconds
yeah,
of
yeah,
reaction.
yeah,
to take a
You know, so when
switch,
you walk
yeah.
into a room and they see you for the first time, that reaction tells you what you
The
need to know.
funny thing is that's actually the book I'm reading right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Law 38. And yeah, that's right. You just
Yeah.
walk into a room and you know like they're talking about me, but you have to take the higher road. Like
Yeah.
pretend like you don't know them.
Yeah.
Pretend.
But pretending is a little bit difficult, isn't it? Like, cause you know.
You just
I
have to
mean,
learn it to survive.
Well, at what point? Sorry, I'm the one asking questions. At what point did you start to feel it? Because it took a while for me though. Because my friends were telling me, I was like, oh no, I'm good. I'm chilled. But then it just hit me like a wave. So at what point in like your
I felt it instantly. I think
when you arrived,
I
like,
came in when I was
immediately-
10.
Yeah.
Primary school was
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
2005.
Yeah.
So my primary school was okay, was multicultural.
Yeah.
Asians, all parts of Africans, so it was cool. But when I moved to I went to a very good high school, but I was the second ever black kid there.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know, these are like different types of white people. But I've made some lifelong friends now, you know, and that's not the issue. But the start, it was very, very visible in terms of like the level of ignorance, in terms of the questions people ask you and things like that about back home is, you know, is Africa like this or things like that. Their perception, it was very visual. And I think I'm thankful that I learned it so early because I was able to develop a different mindset, kind of. Whereas people that come at a later age, it's confronting, you know, because you're like, I didn't know what racism was until I came to Australia because I grew up with like my own kind.
I think my experience was when the cops stopped me when I first came to Australia, and I was like, "Where are you from?" Like Nigeria. It's like Nigeria. No Nigeria. It's like he just wanted to say that nigger. You know, he wanted to say that word, and at first I thought to myself like, maybe it's just me overthinking it. But after years of like reminiscing and like thinking properly about it, I feel right now like he knew like how to pronounce the name. He knew it's Nigeria, but he just wanted to use that word.
They do smart things like that.
Yeah, they're
like
just smart like that.
Smart ass things, comments like that. He's like, no, I didn't say that.
You're messing up with my head now. So now I'm gonna be looking out for that.
What used to happen with me, they intentionally like pronounce my name wrong, or like relative to certain African
No, but
things.
how what do you mean
The name thing.
intentionally? What if they don't know how to pronounce it?
No, like
It could be that they don't know how to pronounce it because
Okay,
throughout the
but let
time,
him tell me.
throughout the
They used to
time,
say,
How to pronounce Nigeria?
I don't really know what happened in your case, but what I'm saying is, like, when I was in Qatar, I was teaching, by the way. So what they called me throughout the time I was in Qatar was Mr. America. Just because they could not pronounce it. I kept correcting them. It's Mr. America, not America. And they keep telling me Mr. America. I said, okay, I'll go with that. And that was all they called me throughout the time.
No, but I feel
You just accepted
I
it.
just accepted. No, I'll tell you something. I should have corrected them, right?
like you will die on that hill. My name,
I understand.
my
See,
name. No, that word I can't even accept. We can do every other thing, but my name.
Look, I
You
was
can
saying.
pronounce Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, we had a conversation similar to what you just said now. You know,
Don't be lying.
my friends and I.
Yeah.
where I told them that, look, man, when we come to this place, we tend to sort of, put so much effort to make this, white people understand us when we talk.
Yeah.
But when they talk to us, we still put in so much effort to understand them.
So like we had this conversation earlier on, I think the last episode, we talked about sending money back home, and how exhausting it could get, trying to look after your family members back home and all of that. And then I was reading this book, Audacity of Hope by Barack Obama, and this experience is not just for anyone. I mean, just for anyone. It happens from high level to whoever, as long as you're outside the country. So now, this is Michelle. I'm just going to read it. So Michelle was bursting with excitement about the idea of visiting the continent of our ancestors. And we had a wonderful time. Visiting my grandmother up country, wandering through the streets of Nairobi, camping in the Serengeti, fishing off the island of Lamu. But during our travels, Michelle also heard, as I had heard during my first trip to Africa, the terrible sense of the part of most Kenyans that their facts were not their own. My cousins told how difficult it was to find a job or start their own business without paying bribes. Activists told us about being jailed for experiencing their oppositions to government policies. Even within my own family, Michelle saw how suffocating the demands of family ties and tribal loyalties could be. With distant cousins constantly asking for favors, uncles and aunties showing up unannounced, on the flight back to Chicago, Michelle admitted she was looking forward to getting home. I never realized just how American I was, she said. She hadn't realized just how free she was or how much she cherished that freedom. So now, this was Michelle being excited to go home. And then she realized that, like everyone just started coming, I have this business I want to do, this is Barack Obama talking about his own experience. So even the fact that they were wealthy, leaving that country or leaving Africa to be, to make it somewhere else and then having to look after every other person, how exhausting is it? Does anyone have any experience about that?
Yeah, because the right person to jump in. He's the one teaching me how not to give.
Don't make it that way, man. Don't put it that way. I am in
the right way.
Yeah.
In the right way.
When he was reading that, I could see myself in that picture. And the reason I'm not too comfortable to talk about it is because I don't want a lot of people who depend on me to see it and they'll feel like, oh, the guy is complaining. But I know the weight on my shoulder is heavy, man. It's really heavy.
How do you feel? Like, leave the fact that people might think you're
I'll say
complaining.
something.
Just genuinely say how it makes you feel every time you have that response.
So the thing is, when I left Nigeria to Qatar, right, it got to a point, once I get paid my salary, right, I sort of distribute it. Like I send it to people. So it got to a point where I struggle to take care of my own personal need. And that was when I said, no, man, the weight was becoming too much. Yeah. And the funny thing is that some people take an advantage of you trying to help them, sort of scam you. You know what I mean? So they'll be like, oh, I need this. I know if I call a maker, he's going to do something. And sometimes when you go back home, you see some of these people building houses, even doing better than you, and they still ask you for money. So, but someone told me something sometime. The person said, look, if you are drowning in the ocean and you haven't found your feet, trying to help someone else, the two of you would drown, definitely. So you definitely have to find your feet first. And that was what I told this man. He said, I said he should stop.
I said, see me, I've been this person. Yeah.
So the thing is, I have gotten to that stage where I'd be like, man, I just have to put me first. My 2 kids, my wife, my family, my immediate family first, before any other person. And that is where I am right now, man. Because it got to a point, if I am not able to help, it gives me sleepless night. So it was that heavy, man.
I mean, I would okay, so I go to work one day, and this guy I've never worked with, I don't even know him. For some reason, just started ranting. For no reason. African guy, Ghanaian. And then it was like, you know, when I got here, I was just walking. And when I check my account, there's no money.
But that's the truth.
You know, and he said, you know, every time this person saying, oh, my child's school fees, this one has a wedding, that one just gave birth, and he was just sending money back home. And after a couple of years, he decided that, nah, this has to stop. So I think people just realize that, you know, it needs to stop maybe after they've been overwhelmed, and then they don't have anything to show for their own success, for their own hard work.
I'll explain my experience quickly.
Yeah.
I came here when I was very young. So a lot of the people I knew back in Africa placed more of those responsibilities on like my elder brothers and my mom, right? So often there'd be times where I would, you know, obviously help to and support and stuff, but the pressure was always on my mom and my brothers. Like my mom would get calls at like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning about this person in hospital and all these things. Until I went there, and you know, people sort of put my face to my name. Now the responsibility is on me. My Facebook is crazy, like constantly. And I remember because I'd never been to Sudan. Last year was my first time because I was born in Kenya and came through that way. So when we were there. I went with my sister. We were there to meet the family and all those things. And I remember before we went, my brother told me, "You're gonna see a lot of things, and try as best to keep your heart out of it, because if you do that, you'll get emotionally.
You can't help everyone. It's not possible.
It will exhaust because you feel like you want to help everybody. So be logical in that sense. Acknowledge what's happening, but then he also said to just know, as bad as it is, these people survive, right? At the end of the day, they are surviving. Obviously, they can survive a little bit better, but they are surviving. So the onus is not necessarily on you. And then now you take that, like back to your point, you get to a point where it's like, yes, you want to establish yourself to a point where you can help everybody. What was happening was so much, like my mom was like that Ghanaian guy. She's like older woman, man, just working crazy jobs. And all their money was going overseas. And then you're seeing that stress, right? And you're like, that's... But she does because this is people that she knows. They're depending on her. You know, these are my relatives, but I don't have that attachment yet until I went there. And now it's like, this is Christmas period, man. The things that I've done in the past, what day is it? 16th of December. In 16 days.
Do you want me to show you messages? So it got to a point. What I did was, when they send messages, I'll be like, man, I haven't even paid my house rent. I don't know how I'm going to do that. So I had to come up with my own stories to make them feel pity. Man, it was
the worst thing I was doing,
too much.
every time I post a story, I didn't know this, it was posting to Facebook.
Oh, no, you don't do that. You don't do that. I have to separate
So they saw that. I posted a video in my car or something. And the guy was like, you know, it's like for life. They have no shame. If they will ask you for the exact same thing you have.
No way. Asking for cars.
He asked for a car for business. And then another thing was, you invest. Somebody might come with you in the issue, and then you give them a lot of money. And you know, they might say thank you, but that doesn't stop them asking. Now they feel like because you supplied them, you give them 200 and 300, they're like, oh, he has money, I'm going to ask for more thing. I think that's that different layer that they don't understand the struggle of it to that extent. Like this takes a lot of time and investment, and we're not just shitting money, as you would say.
Joe, I'll tell you something. You see how they calculate it in Nigeria? Yeah. Like, they know you're working, you're earning dollar, right? So they calculate the money in Nigerian naira, in Nigerian currency, and they don't recognize the fact that you pay your house rent, your bills in dollar. So if you are making, for example, $4,000 a fortnight, they say, oh, he's making 4 million naira. Shit. So they forget the part that you pay your bills in dollar. You know. So one was telling me the other time, man, I need money. I was like, man, I don't have money. He said, hey, bro, if you just send me $100, I'll be fine with it. I said, I don't even have $100. So he was like, how can you say that? It was when I got pissed. I was like, if you so much believe that I have money, why don't you have money?
All right, man, I've been thinking about this here, like, you know, this whole gender, you know, equality thing. So, I mean, do we think it's been abused by one gender? Like the old gender equality. And if you don't know, gender equality started, when UN came up with this Sustainable Development Goal thing, and then they were like, gender equality. The purpose of it, I think people don't even understand what it is. The purpose of gender equality is for peace, prosperity, and a sustainable world. But for some reason, I do feel like a particular gender is flogging it.
Certain demographic.
So how do you want us to look? Do you want us to talk about it from the perspective of Africans or in our community, or just
Generally, I feel.
I think it would be great if we talk about it from the general perspective and narrow it down to our community.
Yeah. We can start from there.
All right. So who are the specific gender? Like,
Well, okay, I feel.
no, because I need to be like.
I feel like the female gender, they didn't really get the purpose of gender equality. They just thought it was all about feminism, all about them being, strong and then attack men or attack the male gender.
They feel it's men versus women.
Yeah, but the purpose of gender equality is for prosperity, and the reason why UN said this is because if I'm bringing income home and my wife is also bringing money home, there's prosperity in the house. That was the purpose of it, but now like the new age kids don't really get it. Like they just think it's about, stand tall for myself. I'm not gonna marry. But you find them at the end of the day, they have kids and all of that. So I feel like the female gender don't really get what gender equality is about.
I feel like it's such a very, very broad topic as well to talk about.
Yeah.
And if you say that the female gender, they are, which is I think is still a generalization, right? But we'll just go with that generalization just for the purpose of having a conversation.
Yeah.
So the female gender, they are. I like to repeat questions. I know this may sound like why she saying this again.
Yeah.
That's how my brain works. So the female gender, they are taking advantage of it in a negative light, so more like attacking men.
like a competition.
All right, so you said two things. You said feminism and you said gender equality. Look, you brought the wrong person on this podcast.
That's how we come up with this topic.
You said gender equality and you said feminism. I just needed to be clear the definition of both because they are two different things. And one might overlap the other depending on who is speaking about it. But that gender equality sounds like a broader UN initiative. And it's not like that hasn't been in existence before. I think it was just UN acknowledging that this is what we want to do.
Making it a goal.
Yes, a goal as part of their goal. So we would say that gender equality has always been a thing prior to that. But let's move. Feminism on the other side is more of women or a group of women coming together to sort of push the rights of women because they're coming from a place of, maybe a place of where they haven't been acknowledged.
Yeah, that's where equality links with it.
They've not been acknowledged. They can't do some things because they are women. They haven't been paid equally sometimes because of their gender. So that's a different movement.
No, it's not different.
How is it?
They're all the same.
How?
Because
I think gender equality is
it's all the same.
feminism.
Okay, now for example, there's gender lens. Gender lens is where you you go to, like now genderless is where like genderless investment is when you go to the bank, you want to get a loan from the bank, and the bank's going to ask you, now this business you want to do, are you going to have 50% female and 50% male? You understand? So equality that I'm talking about is basically, the positive part of it, which is the purpose of equality is that we want to have peace.
Can we truly ever be equals though?
Now, according to UN, it's going to take 140 years.
We'll get to that point.
Yeah. But I still don't understand how feminism is the same thing as gender
Because
equality.
what feminism is about is they're trying to, make women.
It's a movement.
It's a movement.
Yeah.
To achieve what? To achieve equality.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where the attack comes in. That's where the versus comes in.
Are you feeling attacked? Because
No, I'm
I
not
feel
feeling
like
attacked.
women are doing something for women. You men can come up with your own thing and do it for men. I think there might be a select few women who are not feminist or are not pushing that positive aspect of feminism that might be coming off as we are attacking men, we are against men, based on some of their personal reasons. I don't care.
I've seen so many on social media.
I would not say that we did talk about in the previous conversations we had that there's always a few bad eggs in something, right? So I wouldn't say, and that's why I said the problem here is with the generalization. I wouldn't say like, why do all women or why do younger women feel like, they want to attack men all in the name of feminism? That's not what every woman is thinking. There might be a few people, and that's not even called feminism. They have another name for that. I'll double check what it means. It's almost like you just hate men, and that's a different set of people. Those people might be overtaking the word feminism just to spoil that initial movement of feminism. But I will tell you that it's not all women, just the way you also have men that are also doing
So
things.
we'll use the name extreme feminism for it.
Extremists, yes. And there's always
Extreme
extremists in
feminism.
everything,
Yeah.
I don't know what was your question, I guess.
I think you're
You're right. I mean, it's just like, is there any gender abuse
But
anymore?
I honestly think both of you are like making sense.
But
No, there's no but.
okay.
What you say? But there's
So
something.
you've known him this too well.
Actually, no, I haven't. I
So
didn't even know
anytime
him that
he
much.
agrees with me, he will always come up with that. I'm like, bro, why you every time you're like, bro, I agree with
He
you.
just
I get your
I
point,
agree,
but
yeah, everything.
Nah,
before
there's no but
Yeah.
she was spot on. Like, I think it's just I wouldn't say it's a few bad eggs though. I think a lot of women. I think it's 50-50. There's some women that like embrace feminism, but they do it rightly. It's like they don't disrespect men. They believe feminism is more like empowering women and all that, and they believe like them and men, like the women and men have to like work together to achieve the greater purpose. But there are other women that think feminism entails like attacking men and belittling men, and that's those are the ones that go viral though.
Yeah, I think
True.
there's ones where I like trying to make back for all the wrong in the past.
It's more misandry. I got the word. It's called
Misandry, yeah.
misandry. When you just hate men and we hate boys. And I'm saying that's to me is it's almost like it's very vicious. It's very obvious. You almost can see through it, and I hope that men can see that is not feminism.
But that's what the big platforms are.
We don't know what.
That's
I've
what the
never
big
heard that
platforms
word
are
before
promoting,
until you
though.
said it now.
I think it's you can equate that to like the men chauvinists. I think that's what they call the extremists who like feel like women are
Is it misogynist?
misogynist.
Yeah, misogynist, yeah.
Chauvinist, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's both ways, and there are other men that believe that them and women have to work together to create a better society. This is what I think though with everything that is happening. I think there's a certain class of people that have created all this conflict between the various gender, and the aim is to destroy the family unit. And that has worked well.
Deep.
That has worked well, bro.
Wow.
With what young girls are learning right now, and I think it's probably going to be the culture, like it's going to be the dominant culture in the future. I think there's so many young boys that are scared to even approach girls.
Yep.
Like,
That's one thing. I feel like that's.
I'm going to get in trouble talking to this girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to get in trouble talking to this girl, and that's some of these boys prefer to just play video games. And it's destroying, it's destroying the masculinity, like in the boys.
Is it making us weak?
It's emasculated.
Is it making men weak?
It's emasculated.
Yes.
So when they
I don't think being a strong man means putting women down. No,
Yeah.
I don't think being a strong man means seeing women as weak. No. It means you know your responsibility. You have to go there and like, make it work. You have to go there and hustle, but you also have to respect your woman. And strong men respect their mothers.
Right.
Strong men respect their lovers if they're if it connects.
Right. There are
You know
also
that
people
because women are still cheating on the men.
True.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I know that.
That's a good
women
maths.
cheat, men cheat. I feel like it's equal numbers to be
But
honest.
men are more free to say, man, I can't do that.
Statistics
Go away.
from the stats, it shows that men cheat more than women.
Which stats are we?
The stats, if you check online, all stats shows men cheat. But the thing is,
Because
women
we say we show
women
it
don't
more.
report
if they cheat.
And men will also not report if they are being cheated on. If they catch them.
Men show it more. Not
Men show it
women
more. I think the thing about this cheating conversation is that women, when they want to cheat, they calculate everything.
Well, you guys
It's
are
like-
very loose though. Like you get caught so easily.
Yeah, it's for women, if they want to cheat, it's like they-
According to the general social survey, men are more likely to cheat than women.
yeah.
false.
But if you check all the stats, it's men. But this is the point. If women want to cheat,
the women. They haven't made.
if women
are not caught.
if women want to cheat, right? They plan it properly.
Yeah.
It's like they like if you're talking to a girl and she wants to cheat on her boyfriend, she'll be like,
Oh my lord, man.
Have you guys had experiences? It seems like it's touching.
I don't know. Joe said, "Oh my lord."
It's touching.
The thought of it.
If women want to cheat with their boyfriend, it's well planned. They have to look for reasons like this boy is doing this thing wrong, and they keep talking to the side guy till they're ready. If men want to cheat, it's like I'm gonna.
They groom the guy.
I will go fuck this girl, but I don't love her.
I think the reason is because women feel, there will be more. Oh, I forgot that word, honestly. I think women feel. I don't want to use a harsh word. I think women feel they will be more punished when they cheat. I'm
they'll be
looking for a word.
judged. Yeah.
They'll be judged more when they cheat.
Yeah.
Than be
Of
persecuted.
course. Yes.
Because sorry.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
Yeah. Finish up now. I want to
Alright,
ask my
because
guy
the
behind the
reason
scene.
is
Yeah. Finish up now. No. Don't just.
So the reason is this, just like I said before, if a married man cheats, or if a married man cheats, right? He can easily tell the friend, man, I like that babe. Even if the wife hears it behind him, he believes that the wife might not do anything about it. But imagine you coming back home and knowing that your wife like another man. She wouldn't even sleep in that house that night.
And I think
You know what it is?
to ask.
In your mind, you're imagining everything. What position?
Exactly. So you have to imagine
So you
everything
think the woman is
before-
also not? I think I would actually blame women here. So how will your man cheat on you, and you still be like, you also not thinking through what position? What position? Like why are women not doing this?
It's like did she? Is he better than me? Is he longer than me?
Yeah, you need to think. You need to think. He said. He said he's home.
On a general note,
He said his home
women
is
forgive
disturbed.
their men
Yeah,
when they cheat more
they
than women
they shouldn't be doing that.
It shouldn't be the
Yeah, it
case
shouldn't be
anyway.
the case.
But you
It
know
should
what's
be the same.
I'll say this though. What affects women though? There's this thing where it's like always cheat up, never cheat down. In terms of like, if you do, I'm not justifying it. It's worse if you cheat down because your woman is gonna feel some type of way. If
I don't care. A woman should feel type of way. It cheat down, cheat.
you cheat up, you're like, it's bad, but cheat.
I don't think women think that way. I don't think. Nah, I don't think women think that way. You're coming from a male perspective. Nah, that's not how it works. Women will be emotional up if it's up and down.
I think we're wired differently.
Yeah, we are different.
Can
You
it be
might
an
think that
offset?
way.
I don't know if you guys know what's going on.
I'm just
Can it
gonna
be an
ask-
offset? Okay,
Just
yeah.
gonna
Kali. I know.
I'm behind the scene. From behind the scene, I just in like 30 seconds. What's your perspective on this? Straight to the point.
In my own understanding, I feel like in terms of women and men shit, I think women,
Speak on this.
it's easy for them to actually do that without being caught. Because it's a situation of who is hunting and who is actually making it easy. If a man wants to cheat, he's gonna hunt. It might take him time to get that ready.
I heard that.
Facts.
Yeah, that's the reality. Right? When you're hunting, you might get caught.
You don't want too much, guys.
Wow. So sometimes when you guys get caught, you're not even
Finish up.
because you guys are laughing.
Finish up, bro.
For a woman, it's easy because she wanna do that now and she can get it now. That's what it takes.
Because a lot of guys are lined up, right?
That's it.
You lie by your Don't ever.
She can get it done in a short period of time.
Men yakpa.
But for a man, it's like a hunting
Process.
So when you hunt the process, you know, you can get caught easily.
Because that text message, you just forgot to delete it.
That's right.
Because you're spreading your net.
Yeah, because you're still grooming. You're still saying, oh, what you doing tonight? Oh, let's go on dinner date.
You just didn't do the proper cause. You didn't do your message.
And so when you look at that and understand it, I mean, statistics told us that men cheat more than that. But if you look at all these attributes, you can tell that women, it could be even the same number.
I think women get the job done
Yeah, but because
more than men.
Yeah.
Let me add this twist to it. Like the men that cheat, right? Who are these women that they cheat with?
I mean,
Cheating women.
Any man. I'm still women these days.
Any.
I'm just saying.
Some men.
There's women that know you're married. There's
Some
women
men
that know
that
you're married.
cheat. Some men that cheat with married women.
Yeah.
Okay, let's come back to Melbourne.
The cheating with both men.
But it's true. It's true. Let's come back to Melbourne, right? Melbourne, Australia. Because in our community, do you guys think like the rate of divorces as a result of people in relationship cheating on each other, or do you think it's as a result of just the stress of being in the Western world?
I think it's more of the abuse.
It's everything. It's a combination. It's subjective. It could be one reason, it could be the other.
Yeah, I'll just let people on the panel talk first. Yeah.
Yo,
No, it could be. It could be any of those reasons. I don't think it's one definitive thing. It could be because of abuse. It could be because of cheating. It could be because of stress. It's so many layers, But I feel like it's so much easier now to have more reasons to want to divorce. Because of the things that are happening in the world and all those things. So I feel like, and if you combine those things, people are more like, yep, that's it. It's like a tally. We have non-negotiables. We have boundaries now.
When you put in quote where you're saying that, like, they should have boundaries.
I'm just stretching my finger. I wasn't.
Non-negotiable.
Do you think social media plays a big part?
Exactly, because people just see everything and imitate it. People will see, like a reflection. Somebody's like all these, information and advice. People try to apply that. It's subjective. Your partner's different to the other person. You could use elements of it and apply it within your own way. But some people like try to imitate certain things, and then they use that criteria to base it off their own wedding, and it never really, or marriage, sorry, but it never really works to that level. Everyone's different. You can have your own criteria for different people. But and then the competition and comparisons kills marriages in the West, especially in our communities.
America. You want to say something?
I'm still processing.
Back to the man behind the scene, my brother.
I think most of us here are not actually married to talk about these things, but I feel like the foundation matters very well. And one thing I've understood so far in life is that people grow out of, that's evolution. And the evolution can be many things in marriage, right? And people grow, from time to time. So it depends on who is growing with you as well, who's taking that process. Because sometimes people even divorce without even like
having a reason.
cheating and I'm not feeling anymore. So, but in terms of the truth taking thing is about growing through this process. I think sometimes people
outgrow
their partner as well. I mean, I think that's also a big.
Do you guys? Would we say? Yeah. Finish up.
I was gonna say more like, for example, if you are someone that used to believe a certain way of life, maybe before you get married and all that, and kids start coming, more responsibility.
It changes.
Talk about this stuff, people's love language and all that. If you don't meet up with those things, chaos happens and all that. And be cool.
I also think like partners are not communicating well enough.
That's a communication.
I feel like communication is so hard, to be honest.
It's simple. It's a simple word.
It's simple.
But it's hard.
Yeah, it's a simple word, but it's hard because you also learn.
Yeah, because some days you don't want to talk to your partner. Some days you don't feel like talking. But guess what? That's the right time. She wanted to just talk.
Well,
So how do you, because men are wired that way. Sometimes we just want to go in our caves.
Communication doesn't have to be verbal to you.
And that is
No,
that
but
is
hold on.
where-
Sorry. It's understanding. I think what you're trying to say. It's those two things are not wrong. It's understanding the communication level of
Exactly.
each
Yeah.
individual. There's times where if things happen, I just want to be quiet and I need to process it.
Yeah.
And then when I'm ready, I'll talk.
Yeah.
The partner might just want to talk straight
Exactly.
away. So if you understand those two layers, you won't have that clash.
Yeah. So when your partner understands when you cave in,
Yeah.
then they don't. Okay, he's alright. He just wants to. It's just in his
Space.
moment.
He'll come to me.
So long as
Exactly.
you will come back. What I
Exactly.
find is some men who use that avenue and let's
Let's get
you know that they'll communicate elsewhere. So my point is, some women do have that trust issue, which is why they're like, I need it now, because they know that I need my man space, my man cave, whatnot, can lead to you not even wanting to talk about that and sweeping it under the carpet.
Yeah, but it's not my problem if you have trust issues, though. If
No,
that
no.
woman has trust. What I'm saying
Trust
is,
issues with you because you've done it before. That's what I'm saying.
no, let's discuss it on the plain state.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about men that have cheated before. Like, just some women just have trust issues,
Yep.
and it's like some of the guys on the panel are great. It's like some you see some men just like to be left alone sometimes.
Yep.
And it's just, you need to understand that as a woman, that it's not about you all the time. Sometimes when he comes back home and he wants to be left alone, leave him the fuck alone for a few minutes. There are ways to get him talking.
Or is it communicating that, babes, I just need some space now. I just need to.
just
Or
frown
you
and
just
going to
frowning
the-
and going to the
you can't go to
How would you say it's just frowning and go? That if you
Over time,
if
you
you
understand.
married this
I'll give you an
guy, if you
example.
dated this guy, you would have known like
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
just like me, the person I'm dating right now, like she understands me, and then sometimes I don't want to talk. She gets it, and I'll get you into. She gets it. Like sometimes this guy doesn't want to talk. And for me, I also understand that this feminine thing comes in where she's also thinking 10,000 things in her
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
give me that 20, 30 minutes break and I'll talk. And that's
I think the problem is that men don't know how to communicate that, and women don't know how to receive
Accept it.
or accept that communication, that non-verbal communication. Hold on, Emeka. Now, if a guy comes home and is saying, "Oh, babe, I just want to go upstairs and chill," you need to understand that he just wants to go upstairs and chill. Like, it's literal.
It's not against you.
It's not against you. It's just what he's saying is what it means.
They don't say anything.
You understand? But some men just come frown their face and then just go. Then the woman think, did I do something? Did that? Then don't make a woman think too much. Give her the reasons why you are the way you are.
You can effectively communicate and be like, I
Exactly,
need this.
babe. I just want to be by myself.
Non-communication is the problem.
Exactly. And I think that's where men fail. Like, men need to be verbal about.
Everybody needs to be verbal to
Yeah,
be honest at
yeah,
this stage, because
exactly.
even it could be, if you could flip it around for a woman
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
She could just be in her
in a mood.
right?
Just a mood swing.
And then it might just be like, I'm having a bad day, you know, I just need a breather or something.
But most of the
I feel like most of the
Yeah.
time people don't like to talk because it's harder to communicate. I've told you before, it's harder sometimes, especially when you're in that funk, to even open your mouth to
Right.
say that you need that
Yes.
space.
So that
Yeah.
is where understanding comes in. See, marriage does not have a general manual.
Yeah.
Whatever that works.
I wish it did. I'll buy
So
it.
whatever that works for you and your partner is what you go with. All right. If you have been living with me for like 3 years,
Yeah.
You
4
understand?
years, 5 years,
Yes.
and you don't know when I need to be left alone,
There's no
then we've not been living together.
Mm.
You're not there present, you know, you're not there with me. So understanding maturity plays an important role
Right.
as well.
Kali, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think also, it's all about, the kind of character that someone has as well. Like, when you talk about communication, I feel like it boils down to more of, there are people who have like a very strong will, go on to like a tradition or way of life. They're not open to change anything. So when you communicating, they're not hearing you. You might communicate a particular thing for the past 1 year, 2 years, but they've not really understood it because
True.
they have a very strong
True.
will. So I think the foundation very helps as well. When you going out with someone, you're looking at the similarity, if you guys actually have something that you share in common.
Sort of
Understanding.
connection.
For example, you can say, are you open to therapy? How do you resolve conflicts? Things like this. when this is happening, how do you approach it? Because you get into marriage with someone, you haven't had this kind of conversation, and it's conflict, and you're talking about therapy, and they don't believe in it. You know, you can't communicate that for 1 year, 2 years. You're not ready to do the thing.
True.
Yeah, right? Because sometimes you need someone to even talk to two people.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so I feel like that foundation to say, how do we do
No-
this?
non-negotiable.
How do we do this? What kind of values? Non-negotiable.
Yeah.
You know, and you can see
That's a
if
good one.
they're actually in the same rhythm with you.
You're
Yeah.
right.
You know, and I think most important, like someone who has like open-minded. If you're a close-minded person,
Yeah.
and someone is open-minded, because
Yeah.
I believe like change is constant. We keep changing. You know, so if someone is not ready to change with you, then
Yeah, I'll just add to that story.
Sure.
And I think that's like, you need to have that understanding or conversation before things get to that level. And that comes with the early days when you're dating and get to know
Yeah,
each
what do
other.
you even talk about when you date, though?
When you have your non-negotiables written down and
Yeah.
you just say, this is what I like and I need you to respect this space. And then you move forward with that. What happens sometimes is people cross the line of your non-negotiables, or you let one thing slide one time. When you let one thing slide, it diminishes that whole thing. So now you have this whole confusion where you're like, you say you didn't like this, but this is what I said. It's just,
Yeah.
it becomes a mess. Whereas if you have your non-negotiables and you stick with them, you'll have a far healthier.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like when dating, people just want to have a good time when
Yeah,
dating,
yeah.
and then people ignore the uncomfortable conversations, which is like what Kylie just said. You know, like when there's conflict, how do we resolve it? Do we go to sleep if we don't, like if we have a situation or a problem? Do we still go to bed, or do we make sure we resolve it before we go to sleep?
Yeah.
Those kind of things, people don't talk about it
So
anymore.
you guys are married. So at what point in your dating did you talk about this serious topic?
When you know that this is who you're gonna be with,
Oh, okay.
then you know that I have to start having these conversations because this is the partner I'm gonna be with for the rest of my life.
I think the process of falling in love.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to start from that process of dating.
No, I'm not. Your girl will not want to have that conversation with you if we just met.
You are not sure what you guys
Yeah.
are getting into.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But if you know,
If you ask me what my goals are in the
From
first
one
date,
perspective, I think before you fall in love with someone, I think it's okay to start, not like the very first day you go out to start.
yeah.
yeah. Where do you see us in 5 years?
Not even when you're actually sure. You need to know who is this person and how they process situation.
I think, Kylie.
Maybe,
Because
for
what
example,
makes you?
I feel like-
what makes
I
you
want to say
sure?
something.
Yeah.
For example, the issue of prenup today. You know, you can meet someone and be happy to do prenup. You can meet someone and be like, nah. So when you have fallen in love with someone and you're talking about prenup, after the person has fallen in love,
Yeah, it's
they be like,
harder.
oh, this person is actually planning divorce. But at the beginning, when you feel like, oh, we just like each other, there's no like deep strong feeling, and you're talking about, you just ask that question, person, oh, I'm happy to do prenup. Then it will give you an idea, like, okay, we're on the same page.
Yeah. At the same time,
Yes, because of
Trying to make some changes, it could be hard.
due to the time constraint, we have to like start rounding this up.
We've really had a good conversation. Dami, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Joe.
Can I plug in like things like
Yeah. So tell us about,
what I do?
shout out to your podcast.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you.
Yans and Vibes.
Just want to shout out to my Yans and Vibes.
Yans
group
and Vibes.
yeah,
For also giving me that platform.
What platforms are Yans and Vibes?
It's a podcast as well.
yeah.
On YouTube and
YouTube, not YouTube.
Instagram, yeah.
Audio streaming platforms and social media platforms, and also my DJ page. Go follow me.
yeah. Down
Give
to-
me gigs. Dam's the DJ.
Right.
And yeah, my radio stuff. I'm on air at 3 Triple R. So if you wanna,
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the podcast, Dami.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Emeka. Thanks, Joe.
Big
Every
Joe.
day,
Big up,
anytime.
man.
Big man Joe.
Thanks, Mr. Kali. Yeah, thank you. You made some good points
Bella.
today.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah, and
It's been a good episode. We will
want to have you guys on the podcast, as much as we can.
Yeah.
we're building a cultured community here. And
100%.
what we want to do is like uplift our community.
Right.
You know, Okay, round up.
Yeah, man. I mean, definitely. Like, the culture community is flow and gist. You know, it's all about that positive energy, celebrating creativity. You know, celebrating African success, and also, you know, promoting each other's businesses. You know, skills and whatever we do. And most importantly, you know, we just want to thank everyone for, you know, coming around. You know, busy schedules and all that, but it still showed up. And also to our fans, followers, you guys are doing a big job. You know, still more to come. And I look forward to the soccer.
Yeah. We'll be hosting a soccer tournament next year. And that's a way of like helping the people, all the our followers that work like in the community sector.
Yeah.
I would like you to like follow our page and register with the soccer, you know, the soccer tournament that'll be coming on next year.
Yeah,
it's a
100%
concept.
Yeah, 100%.
And always be yourself, and you know, stay motivated. Thanks to everyone, and that's the conclusion of this episode.
All right, peace.
Thank you all. Peace.